Oh. Icing is death. Death, I say. Icing is very, very dangerous. And we're going to play with death today. In other words, we're playing with icing in Flight Simulator 2020. Okay, where are we? We are going to take off from a place in Ireland called Newcastle. Okay, this is Ireland, and this is England. This is Wales, and this is Scotland, for those of you who don't know this general area in Europe. And Ireland, of course, is on the very western edge of Europe, which is just bad for weather. Weather's terrible here. For those of you in New York, you'll understand. For those of you in California, won't have a clue what I'm talking about. Icing, you'll say. What is ice? We have that in our fridges. We get icing here all the time. Those of you in Canada will know exactly what it is. You from Australia? Don't know. Anyone from a warm place don't really get how dangerous this is. Well, you do if you're trained. Anyway, we're going to go to Newcastle, which is on the east coast of Ireland. And we're going to set that as our departure. This is one of the airfields I do instruction from. Now, what aircraft are we going to be flying? We're going to fly the Beechcraft Baron. It's a very, very good standard airplane with a flight simulator, I have to tell you, but not everything works in it. And I have to tell you also, I'm playing today. I'm not working. We're going to have a bit of fun today. So I'm not going to do everything as I would in real life. Now, weight and balance. We'll play with that when we get up into... I'm going to show you some stuff with weight and balance as well. This is going to be funny, okay? And you might learn something from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, that's our aircraft. Oops. And I'm recording this live, by the way. I'm recording it live. It's not actually live. It's pre-recorded. I'm practicing for streaming because I think I might do some streaming. I need some gear first. I'm waiting for that to arrive in the post. Now, so let's fly. Here we are in Newcastle Airfield on this fine, lovely day. You'll also see Fraps is up the upper left-hand side. I'm trying to record this in 30 frames a second, so you can see I've got high-end graphics set as default, and we're going to see what frames per second we're going to get. It should be 30. It runs very well in 30. A bit less than 30 it runs very well on. Anyway, enough about that. That's another day's work. We're in the Beech Barn today, and we'll let... Oh, it's a lovely day. Look at that. We can't have that. That's too set. What the deuce? Oh, my controls are not set. Wow. Okay. No, it's a lovely day, and that's just not dangerous enough. That is not dangerous enough, and it's not acceptable. Okay, so let's have a look here at the weather. Now, just for those of you who haven't really messed with the weather before, here is all our cloud settings, okay? And you can adjust the coverage, etc. But just be aware there's a little settings tab here, and you can change the temperature, the participation, lightning, and all that kind of stuff, right? A lot of stuff. I'm just going to... I'm going to set it up now and show you, right? So first of all, let us play with the cloud base because it's just too clear for us. Let us put on a lot of coverage and a lot of scatterage, and we need some altitude. Let's put it down just so it's low to the ground, a little bit lower than that. 500 feet will do. It's bad. It's going to be a bad day. And that's going to go up to 2,000 feet roughly. Coverage is not enough coverage, guys. It's a very thin layer. Let's put it there. Oh, okay. Let's put it about there. That's not good enough. Let's put on another cloud layer. Let's put the bottom just about here. And let's get the altitude tops a little bit higher. We need some scattering and we need some coverage, cloud coverage. We need more than that. We need the altitude to be higher to make it darker. There we go. That's a bit darker. Dark and sinister. And way up high here, we'll just make it a bit scary, guys. Okay, that will do for now. It's going to rain, so let's go to this tab up here to settings. Not live, but settings here. Hit the settings tab. This setting just gives it a little bit of snow because it's an icy day today. It's kind of December. We're thinking of, and we can change it to December. Fine. Oh, okay, we leave that for another day. Aerosol density is the pollution in the air and the moisture. So we want some moisture in the air. Participation, rain, in this case. Let's put that up reasonably high. Oh, look at the rain. Not terrible. And a little bit of lightning. Why not? For a bit of atmosphere. Now the temperature, we want to play with icing today. We want to play with icing death in the air. We're going to put the temperature down to minus 7 degrees in the ground. Okay, that's a little bit. I want to see something. Let's put participation up a little bit less. Aerosol density a bit lower. So we can see something. Okay, so that's let's have a look. That's a pretty bad weather day. You know, would you take off on that? No, you would not if you weren't IR rated. So it's very, very dangerous. People have. I've seen people come into airfields and they go, oh, I'm going to go flying in that with no icing. We're going to talk about de-icing in the aircraft now as well. Because ice is going to build up in the aircraft. It's going to try and kill us. So we've got our minus temperature. So when we take off with all the moisture in the air, icing is going to build up in the airframe at the props. It's going to stop our airspeed indications. It's going to cause havoc. So I think that's enough for the weather. Now we could save it. Look at this. We could save the new preset. I'll call it Gripper Sim Madness. Sim Madness. There we go. So we want some Gripper Sim Madness. Now, if you want to get that back, you go into presets and it's there. Right down the bottom. Look, there's what I did earlier, bad weather, and then Gripper Sim Madness. So that's really cool. That's enough of that. Now, so good. Let's go. Oh, no, wait. That's not dangerous. Still not dangerous enough. Let's go to the mass and balance, the fuel here. Now, the maximum takeoff weight of this aircraft is 5,500 pounds. Okay. Let's make that worse, shall we? Let us add full fuel. And let us full payload. Oh, what's that? Oh, what the deuce? Haha. I'll show you what that is now. I'm going to show you outside. This is a little lesson for you, boys and girls. So I want to get the view now for outside. We go to showcase. I'll get my Xbox controller because that's the only one that seems to work very well. Work very well with this. So we're going to get a view of the aircraft so you can see what happens. Okay. Now you're going to love this. I leave the camera there for the moment. And now, so what happened there? Why did the nose go up? Let's put the payload way up to full. Doink. Look at the tail. Doink. What's happened there is, first of all, we're at all up max weight, okay? But the center of gravity is down here, whereas before it was here. So the center of gravity is like that. So we can't take off like that, can we? Right? So I think it's really clever. It does it live. Look. Dunk. So we put on the full weight. And we want to get the center of gravity. He's got 272 pounds of baggage there. And actually, let's make the center of gravity more forward, shall we? So let's take off 200 pounds here and put it up to the front. We put it, let's say 150. Okay. See, it changes immediately. We put, we'll say my passenger here. You know, they've been going to McDonald's a lot lately. And it's just not acceptable. Let's say they're kind of, yeah, let's say 300 pounds. Let's say one of the back here is kind of, you know, 300 pounds as well. They've both been going back to McDonald's together. I want to get heavier, guys. Let's say he's 400 pounds and he's got, you know, baggage with him, let's say. And then here, 400. I'm trying to get it right here and I'm recording live, so scratch. There we go. We're slightly overweight. So let's say that is 301 pounds. I want something in the red, so let's say 305. There we go. We're overweight by 4 pounds. Now, even more dangerous because we've got a short runway. Let's close that down. Let's go back to our cockpit. So we're overweight. We've got a short airfield to take off from. And we're going to get icing, which is even more dangerous. Because what happens when you get icing? Well, I'll tell you what happens when we get icing. Icing will cover, it actually grows on the leading edge of the wings a lot more, or it builds up on the leading edge of the wings a lot more, and the leading edge surfaces all over the aircraft. So ice builds up. It disturbs your airflow over the wing, number one. Also, number two, it's all over the glass, it's all over everywhere, and that builds up weight. So you get heavier and heavier. What happens when you get heavier and heavier? You start falling out of the sky, which is even more dangerous. The props build up with ice as well. So you got de-icing of the props. So let's have a look here at the icing controls. I'm going to remove the control column here. I'm just going to take off the parker brake because that's going to annoy me later. There we go. That's the gear lever. So icing. What have we got for icing? We have the pitot heat. The pitot heat is a little probe sticking out under the wing, and that it measures, the pitot tube measures the airspeed. So ice will build up in there and block the vent. So we got to heat that pitot tube, and that'll allow us to see the airspeed. So we'll be flying, you'll see our airspeed building when we take off, and then all of a sudden it's going to stop, it's going to read 0. So we can't see our airspeed. Next thing, fuel vent is disabled. It's in up. Stall warning is in up as well. That's just for the stall warning that ice is up. The propeller, okay? The propeller has de-icing on it as well. So that cracks off any ice in the boat props. Okay? We've got our windshield de-icing. So if the ice is going to build up on the windshield and the windows, and we won't be able to see out at all, which is even worse. And of course, our surface anti-de-ice. What's that? In this case, the beach barn, you have what's called de-icing boots. And you'll see here, I have the de-icing light on here, see? So the black surface here, if I zoom in a bit more, that surface is a boot. So you blow air into that and that expands and it cracks off the ice. But the danger of that is you got to wait first for the ice to build up. You got to wait for the ice to build up. Then you activate the de-icing boot. It inflates and cracks off of the ice. But you got to be careful. You got to switch that off again so it deflates to let the ice build up again. So you can actually inflate the de-icing boots to crack off the ice. And it all cracks off and falls off the wing. And you get much lighter and you can fly again. So that's what they are for. Some of the more modern aircraft inflate them, deflate them momentarily, you know, because you forget. Because if you're an icing, anyway, look, it's all crazy. So those are all the icing. We're going to be playing with the icing to get out of trouble because we want to complete the flight. By the way, we're going from Newcastle to Dublin, and we're going to do an eye lesson to Dublin, hopefully, because I'm recording this live and I don't know how it's going to go. So let's take off 10 flaps. Here's the flaps over here. No. Go on. Oh, well, go on. There we go. And it's a takeoff. I know it's just approach there. It's takeoff. And what else do we want to do? I think that's it. Let's put our control column back here. We've taken the park and brake off. And let's just fly. You don't want to be listed to be shutting on the ground. Let's just fly and talk about it when we're flying. Right. I'm going to play with the autopilot as well. So full power. Let's see if we take off even. I don't want to have to do this loads of times, guys. Which is more than likely what happens when anyway, this is Newcastle and this is default auto-generated scenery and it's absolutely fantastic. The buildings aren't the same, but I tell you what, as the nose wants to go up because of the rearward centre of gravity, so I'm applying forward pressure. So there's little dints coming up and I recognise them on the runway, and it's very realistic. They've got the ground spot on. I don't know if you can see them, but they're coming up about now. You see over to the left there, see those little patches? They're actually on the real runway. That's how detailed it is. Oh, okay, let's take off 80 knots. Up we go. Come on, up we go. It's having problems taking gear up. Gear's coming up. That'll reduce the drag. Flaps, I'll wait till I get a positive rated climb and I'm high enough. Oh, this is bad, lads. Okay, positive rated climb, flaps up. And we're flying at, I'll go at 10 degrees. And we've got a climb rate of 1,300 feet a minute. So it's behaving very well. The aircraft. Can we see out? Ooh, bit of thunder. We can see out quite clearly, and we're performing quite well. Oh, there's a mountain radio. 1,900 feet a minute. So there you go. So that's all great. Oh, I see a bit of ice building up. This is the ice beginning. I'm going to keep it at 10 degrees. I've got to take the power back a little bit because I don't want to be... and sink the engines. Okay, so now the ice is building up quite rapidly. I'm still staying at 10 degrees. 1,300 feet a minute. Now, I have to keep trimming back. Do you know why? Because the ice is building up on the airframe. And we're getting heavier because the ice is building up, and this is not a good place to be. All the flaps are up, the gear is up, so this is dangerous. We're coming down, lads. There's the gear there. Okay, let's see what we can do. I'm not going to look at the nose up. I'm going to add a bit more power. So this is really not very comfortable. You can see it a little bit out the window. So the weight is building up. Oh, it's turning now. It's starting to get close to the stall speed, but I can't tell how slow I am because the pitot tube is blocked full of ice. Okay, we're climbing now at last. But that's a tough climb. I got almost full power on. Let's put on a bit more power here. I've got full props in almost. I don't want to do the red line. So we're struggling, guys. We really are struggling. So let's play with... Let's have a look outside. So you can see here we've got a rather a lot... Rather a lot of ice building up on the whole aircraft. And we're at full power. We're barely climbing. And it's shocking. Guess who hasn't figured out his controls yet? Guess who hasn't done that yet? So let's just play with the views here a bit more. I want showcase. I don't have to control the aircraft. So it's getting out of control. Look at all the ice. This is bananas. We're going to die if we keep doing this. Oh, it's turning. I don't want it to turn. Back into the cockpit. I know I need to set up short keys. We're descending rapidly. Are we getting heavier? We are in big trouble. Okay, let's get the we're in a bit of trouble. You see, when you go outside to look at the views, it gives you a little bit of a problem. Let's see. Oh man. Let's go out to the views again and look at a better view. So this is very, very bad. We're very, very heavy. We're not coming down, thankfully. You know, we're not gonna crash, but we're really struggling. We're struggling badly, and it's listing over. And I'm just going to come back up to north again. If I can get to turn east a little bit, I can't see a thing. Anyway, where was I? Let's see what our speed is. Let's get rid of the control column. Pitot heat. Now watch this. I'm going to put the pitot heat on, and you'll see the speed all of a sudden appear. Okay? Pitot heat on. Takes a while. Yeah, watch it now. Wait for it. 162 knots. Okay. Okay, so we're flying along. So we're not going to die. We're not going to fall out of the ground. But we are going to die because we can't see anything. So let's just turn a little bit towards the north now. I'm looking inside now, and I want some lights. It's very dull in here, so let's get some lights on. The lights are down here. Let's get the floodlights on. Put on all the lights. And we put on the lights up here as well. Some lights up here. Now you can see a lot better now, yeah? So we're going to turn north, and we're going to get the autopilot on. And in fact, let's get the autopilot on now. So autopilot, I want the heading autopilot on. You're looking up here. Heading on, so it's going to turn to my heading. We want to keep our altitude here. Now, I'm hands off, so I can talk to you and actually, you know, experiment with this. So this is... Well, I can look at the cameras now as well. Much better. Let's have a quick look outside. And this is our iced up airplane. Right? We're seriously iced up. We're seriously heavy. There's the de-icing boots. All the ice in the leading edges. And our angle of attack is very high for what we're doing. We're just straight in level flight now, and it's just barely able to stay in the air.
Dublin approach beach craft Golf Romeo India Papa 4,400 feet.
Ooh. Okay. When he stops talking, I'm going to show you what happens. First of all, I'm going to get rid of the icing on the windows, okay? So that is going to be the windshield icing, which is there. So I'm going to click it on. Watch that ice melt nice and slowly. Look at that. It's coming. It's going. Come on. See at the front there, it's kind of melting. Now you'd have the anti-defrost on as well. The hot air blowing on the windshield. So it's clearing up, folks. See how slow it clears up? Brilliant. There we go. Ice. The icing on the windshield is gone, but now that we can see it, look at all the ice. And we've got little lights here to show us the lights, the boots here, the anti-de-ice boots. So we're still in trouble, because look at our angle of attack. We're level flight, and our angle of attack is way up here. It's almost 7 degrees, 8 degrees. That ain't good. Okay? So now this is the interesting bit. I want to show you this as best I can. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the prop de-ice on. We're going to get better performance straight away. Okay? You'll see the speed increase, and we'll lift up into the air. You ready? You're going to have to look here now. Prop on. So we're increasing in speed. We want level flight, and then we're decreasing the angle of attack. So that's good. So it's working. The props are now free of ice, slowly but surely. They actually come flinging off. There's actually usually, you see this way it's spinning here? There's a guard up front to stop it smashing into the engine, or sorry, into the nose, not the engine, but the nose. It makes quite a loud sound. Not that I'd know anything about that. So the big one. The big one. Oh! I didn't want to do that! Oh, they should be on both anyway. Why are the magnetos on start? I don't want to switch them off. Okay, that's on both. That's start now, that's both. Jesus. Oh, I don't know which to switch, because the dial should be here, it should be on both now. I don't know if it's left or both, but look, we'll leave it on start. Oh, I don't want to switch off the engine. I won't fiddle with the magnetos anymore. We'll talk about those another day. Okay, so next I wanted to do... Come on! There we go. I'm going to hit the surface icing on the boots. Now, we're at 174 knots now, okay? And we're going to set it climbing again. I'm going to take off the altitude. So let's start climbing and switch it off altogether. And let's get onto the climb here. I just want to show you the difference. Okay, so watch this. On comes the boots. Look at that. Whoa, nose goes up. We get loads of lift all of a sudden. Loads of lift all of a sudden. And we're getting out of that dangerous area where we're in. Now I can lower the nose. Whoops, not like that. Take the power back to cruise. I won't have to have so much power on. So all the ice just came off, and we're much lighter now. Well, we're still very heavy, but... So that's us out of trouble. I'm going to put the icing on. I'm going to push autopilot on again. Autopilot on. Is it on or off? On. Heading. And let's get our altitude done. I want to start descending, please. There's no altitude button in this to change my book, which is a pain. So I'm going to have to take the altitude off. Okay, let's start descending. Now we're going to do an eye lesson to Dublin. I'm going to have to do a lot of trimming here. So, we've got rid of all that weight. Feeling better. I'm going to do a few orbits. And we're going to come down to 3,000 feet. Now, I'm going to have to set the frequency for the ILS in Dublin, because that's what we're going to be doing. This is very untidy flying, because I'm working the mouse, and I'm trying to trim it. It's a bit finicky in the sim, I have to tell you, because I got to show you this as well, and I got to turn the arc. Oh, you're getting a bit of windage. That's what's happening. We're getting a bit of windage. Now, we want 111.35 in nav 1 for the ILS. No. Oh, overturning. Japers. It's very finicky in the sim. 111. 35. Go on. It's very messy. There we go, 35. Activate that. CDI. Then we got the localizer. Okay. Now where are we, by the way? I don't even know where we are. Now I want to level off at 3,000 feet. Autopilot. I'm going to switch on the altitude, the heading bug, and altitude set, please. There we go. Okay, so let's see if we can. Now that the autopilot's flying, it's turning to north. I need to see where I am, and that. Oh, can I have a weather radar? Okay, I'm getting sidetracked now. Now I'm looking for Dublin. I'm trying to find out if I can zoom out here. Zoom out. There we go. Okay, so we're going to come back to a heading. Oh yeah, the autopilot is not on. I'm diving out of control here, guys. I told you this would be dangerous. So we're going to intercept. We're actually on the intercept line for the airfield. Now that I'm not fiddling with the mouse and the controls and whatnot, I'm going to leave this picture out here and we can start flying it properly now. So we got out of our icing problems, but we've got to land it now. So I'm going to get on to the ILS. I've lost a ton of weight. I'm going to keep my altitude. The sim is very, very finicky. The sim is really very finicky. There we go, under control. Okay, we got to keep turning here to get on the ILS. Come on, come on. Come on, still descending. I don't want it to descend. I want to get a reasonable speed at about 100 knots. There we go. Okay. So we are on the localizer. And we're far too low. I'm just going to climb back up here. It's a bit of a pain. So I'm back in the game. This is my first time doing this in the simulator. It's actually quite tricky. It's very sensitive. I got to level off at 2,000 feet. There we go. And I'm going to set my heading bug. Oops. Thank you. I don't want to descend yet. I want very high nose attitude. An unusually high nose attitude for level flight. It's quite tricky to keep level while you're flying it manually, I have to admit. But maybe it's because of the wind and the turbulence. So there we are, 1,900 feet. The glide slope's coming down. Get back onto my heading. Now it's getting a bit more stable. I want to slow down a good bit. Let's lower some flaps. Let's lower the gear. I should have loaded the gear first there, but we're just playing. We're not. This is not a tutorial of any sort. Okay, so that should be okay. Now we're on the glide slope. I want to get 100 knots and about 500 feet a minute. I can't see anything outside yet. I can just get the mouse here. Nothing outside. See, when you touch the mouse or something, it messes everything up. So let's get back on that glide slope. I'm still descending at 500 feet a minute. I don't want that. Gear is down. Flaps are set. All the lights are on. And I'm going to be one dot out now, which is not good with the glide slope. So just let's hold it level there. Yeah, it's what I'm not used to. There's a huge nose up attitude on this simulated aircraft, which is really throwing me out entirely. But, you know, it's probably because of the rearward centre of gravity, isn't it? So it's all different, and you never fly like this out of weight in such a bad fashion. Getting back on the glide. So we're on the glide slope now. We want to get back on the centre line. 500 feet. It's very hard to get just 5. You usually just trim it up and leave it there. But it's incredibly twitchy. That'll do it. Can't see the runway yet. 500 feet a minute trimming. So this is tricky with this simulator. Now we're kind of on it. I'm looking in all. I'm not looking out at all, except to see when I can see the runway. There we go. Now we're on it. We're going too fast, though, aren't we? Oh no, we're not. I thought the 0 was an 8. I'm sitting quite back from. I got a fright there. I thought it was 184 knots. That's 104, 105, 100 knots roughly. So we're looking good on the glide slope. So this is something that is. This is in this simulator. This is just stunning. It really is. Because there's the runway now. Just barely see the runway. Now, the minute I look in, this is where it all goes to shit. When I start playing with the mouse, it goes the gears down. I'm just checking the gear down. I always check the gear down. The gears down. See, I'm 750 feet a minute there. It's terrible. I've missed. I can't see the runway now anymore again. It's the weather, lads. The weather is just stunning. Here's the runway now. The weather is just stunning. So here we go. We're coming in. We're coming in nicely in the glide slope. Oh, and we got the nice pappies. We've got 2 reds and 2 whites. So flight sim's great. I'm just all over the shop, lads, because I'm looking for the mouse. My eyes are coming away from the screen, and recording this is quite difficult because this is live, and usually I can edit it, you know, which means I'm not moving the mouse while playing the sim. But that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, I'm getting a bit too high, but we can see the runway now, so we're safe. We're out of the death zone. We've de-iced the aircraft. We're coming into land. I know we're heavy, but we've taken off already, and we didn't crash into the trees at the end of the runway, and we're good. We're good. So I'll take off a little bit more of the power. Let's see if we can get a butter landing here. Let's see if we can get a really nice landing here. Steady. Steady. Hold her off there. Hold her off. 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 There. That's not bad. Let the nose come down on its own. There we go. That's the rear wheel, and that's the nose wheel. There's the nose wheel. Now, very twitchy in the flaps. But do you know what? This is my first time doing an ILS in Flight Simulator, and have to. Oh, we had a crosswind. Did we have? Is that the windsock? I'm gonna keep going straight to see the windsock. Is that the windsock down there? No, it's not. Is it? Couldn't be the windsock. It's the windsock. We had a no, we didn't have a crosswind. It just looked funny. So that is Flight Sim. I hope there's an exit to my right here at the very end of this runway. Let's see, the centre of gravity is really rearward. Go on, give us an exit, lads. Go on. Stunning. Stunning. The lights are stunning. All the details of the airfield are stunning. We'll taxi off here. Oh, that's hard. That's harsh. And once we are past the centre line, sorry, once we're past this threshold here, we can taxi up. Okay, so there we go. Murder, death, kill. We have saved the day, saved our lives, and I actually, the centre of gravity is quite poor. Let's see where we are with the centre of gravity. Let's just brake here and stop. See the way it's really bouncy there because we're at centre of gravity. No wonder I was all over the place. I put the park and brake on. These are the magnetos here. They switch off the engine. You don't want to do that, so I was frightened of doing this. That stops the engine. You see? You don't want to do that and have one. We'll do that another day. So, I think we've accomplished our mission. Let's not bore you to death. I'll see you soon, again, at the reaction review. Trimmed all the way back, and I can't trim anymore. That is shocking. Let's make sure that the pilot isn't flying the airplane. No, he's not controlling the aircraft, so... Jesus. Look at that. I'm just coming out of the sky here. I can't trim. Death happened.